Kalara moved silently through the alien forest. Her 4 legs carried her over thick roots and jagged stones with ease, her senses alert to every sound. This world, known to humans as Cathara Prime, was beautiful but dangerous. Strange glowing plants lit the night, and creatures with sharp teeth and quicker reflexes than she had ever known roamed freely. Her people had taught her well: trust no male. They were reckless, weak, and easily distracted. Kalara had never felt the need to bend that rule. Until now. She crouched behind a crystalline bush, her eyes narrowing at the faint glow of movement ahead. The sensor drone she had sent earlier had picked up something unusual: energy readings far beyond normal patterns. Kalara was curious but cautious. She knew the humans had expanded into this sector, and she had heard stories of their bravery and cleverness. Still, curiosity did not override caution. She had survived countless encounters by trusting her instincts. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the trees. Kalara's ears twitched. It was close. She leapt onto a high rock and saw the source: a massive creature, unlike anything she had seen before. Its 4 arms tore through the forest, sending smaller creatures scattering in terror. Kalara knew she could not fight it alone. Her claws were sharp and her reflexes fast, but this beast was enormous and powerful. Then she heard a human voice. "We have movement. Stay alert." Kalara froze. She knew the voice instantly. Male. Human. Her instincts screamed at her to hide, to avoid interaction at all costs. She had always avoided males. She had survived because of it. But as the creature charged toward her position, her survival instincts shifted. She needed help. Before she could decide, a group of humans appeared, moving with precise coordination. They were armed, calm, and organized. Kalara had seen humans before, but never this close, never in the middle of danger. One of them, a man with short brown hair and a calm expression, noticed her immediately. He barked an order, and others moved to intercept the creature. Kalara hesitated. Her mind screamed to run, to leave. But the human didn't attack. He didn't threaten her. Instead, he extended a hand, his eyes steady and reassuring. In that moment, Kalara felt something strange, a flicker of trust, something she had never allowed herself with a male. The beast lunged, and Kalara had no choice. She leapt from the rock, and the humans moved with her. Together, they fought. The man Aaron, as she later learned, kept her safe. He fought with precision, shielding her from the creature's massive claws. Kalara realized she had never fought alongside a male before. Yet here she was, relying on one entirely. When the creature finally fell, Kalara's heart was pounding. She had survived, but the experience left her unsettled. She turned to leave, but Aaron spoke. "You're safe now. Come with us," he said, his voice calm but firm. "We can protect you better together." Kalara's instinct screamed, "No," but she paused. Something in his eyes told her he was different. Not reckless. Not arrogant. Not like the males she had avoided her whole life. He was careful, respectful, brave. She nodded slightly, more to herself than to him. She would follow, but only for survival. Not because of him. The humans led her to their temporary base, a structure of metal and alien-adapted technology. Inside, Kalara observed quietly, keeping her distance from the other humans. She did not speak much. Her words would betray nothing of her curiosity, of her strange fascination with the human who had saved her. Aaron moved among his team with quiet authority, giving orders, checking systems, and always aware of her presence. Kalara found herself watching him, noting small things: a hand carefully adjusting equipment, a nod to a fellow soldier to reassure them, the way he never acted reckless, even under pressure. She didn't want to feel anything, yet she couldn't deny the pull she felt. It was subtle, but persistent, like a quiet hum beneath her instincts. That night, Kalara kept to herself in a small sleeping chamber the humans had set up. She replayed the events of the day in her mind. She had always believed males were distractions, dangerous to trust, yet Aaron had been neither. He had been her shield when she had no other option. And she realized something that startled her. She wanted to see him again, to understand him. She shook her head. She couldn't allow it. Her people would never forgive weakness. Morning came, and the base stirred with activity. Humans were preparing for a mission to investigate the energy anomaly Kaylara had originally detected. They didn't ask for her help, but she insisted. She knew the territory better than they did, and her skills could be useful. Aaron met her at the entrance, his expression unreadable. "You're coming?" he asked. Kaylara simply nodded. She refused to speak more than necessary. As they moved out, she stayed at the edge of the group, her eyes scanning the alien landscape. The forest seemed alive, almost aware of their intrusion. She sensed danger, and the humans' technology helped, but her instincts were faster, sharper. Aaron noticed her scanning, the way she moved with a predator's grace. "You see things we can't," he said quietly, almost to himself. Kaylara tensed. She was not used to humans observing her so closely, yet he didn't mock her or challenge her. He acknowledged her skills, respected them. The journey was tense. Strange creatures watched from the shadows, and the forest itself seemed to shift around them. Kaylara saved Aaron twice during the mission from a hidden pitfall and a sudden ambush by alien predators. Each time, he nodded his thanks, never questioning her actions, never undermining her authority in her own right. By the time they reached the energy anomaly, Kaylara felt a strange bond forming. It was not love, she was not ready to admit such a thing, but it was curiosity, respect, and trust, intertwined. She realized she had underestimated humans, at least this one human. The anomaly itself was terrifying, a swirling field of energy that warped space around it. The humans were cautious, scanning and measuring. Kaylara stayed close to Aaron, offering guidance when the readings became confusing. He listened to her, asked questions, and included her in decisions. No human had ever treated her like that. She felt a warmth, an unfamiliar sensation, growing quietly inside her. As they prepared to return to the base, Kaylara kept glancing at him, noting the calm way he moved, the care he showed to every team member. She didn't understand why she felt drawn to him, why her instincts told her he was different. Her people's rules were clear. Avoid males. Trust none of them. Yet here she was, thinking of one constantly. Back at the base, Kaylara retreated to her chamber. She avoided the other humans, avoided conversation, avoided admitting anything to herself. But even in solitude, her mind kept returning to Aaron. She couldn't stop analyzing him, wondering how a male could be so disciplined, so careful, so trustworthy. That night, she allowed herself a small indulgence, watching him from a distance as he checked equipment under the faint lights of the base. He looked human, ordinary even. Yet to her, he was extraordinary. She did not know why. She did not understand why her heart raced when he entered a room, or why her thoughts lingered on him. She only knew that something had changed inside her, something that she could not ignore. Kaylara finally closed her eyes, though sleep did not come easily. The rules she had followed her whole life seemed less absolute now. She had always avoided males, and she had always survived, but survival had brought her here, to a human soldier who had saved her life, who had shown her a new way of seeing the universe. And for the first time, Kaylara wondered if perhaps the rules were not the only path to strength. Perhaps there was something more: trust, curiosity, connection that could be just as powerful. As the base settled into quiet, Kaylara knew one thing for certain. She would watch him. She would observe him. She would not yet allow herself to feel what she felt, but she would not run. Not anymore. For the first time in her life, Kaylara allowed herself to hope, not just for survival, but for something new, something uncertain, something dangerous, and perhaps something extraordinary. And Aaron, unaware of her internal struggle, continued his work, calm, steady, and entirely human. The morning sun filtered through the tall crystal trees, casting fractured light across the human base. Kaylara moved quietly along the perimeter, her senses alert to the slightest rustle or shadow. The alien world around them was alive, vibrant, and dangerous. She had grown accustomed to its dangers, but the humans she now accompanied were new territory. Aaron was already outside, inspecting the energy scanners they had set up yesterday. His brow furrowed in concentration as he adjusted the readings. Kaylara observed him from a distance, careful not to draw attention. She did not want to speak, did not want to risk revealing her curiosity. Yet something about him drew her gaze repeatedly. He was calm, precise, and respectful, treating every piece of equipment and every soldier with equal care. "Kaylara," he called softly, not looking at her. "Come check this. The anomaly's readings are fluctuating. I could use your insight." She approached, silent as always. Her movements were feline, almost predatory, but Aaron did not flinch. He did not look at her the way others might, with suspicion or judgment. Instead, he waited, calm and patient, for her to examine the readings. "This pattern," she said, pointing to the energy spikes on the monitor, "it is unstable. It may be reacting to external interference." Aaron nodded, listening intently. "You're right. If we don't stabilize it, it could spread and affect the entire forest. We'll need to move closer to understand it better." Kaylara's ears twitched. Moving closer meant danger. She knew the creatures in the area would not welcome their presence. And yet, she felt a strange sense of anticipation. With Aaron, danger felt different. Not less dangerous, but manageable, focused. Somehow, right, the mission began mid-morning. Kaylara led the way through dense alien flora, guiding the humans around hidden pitfalls and aggressive predators. Aaron followed close, observing her movements, learning from her instincts without interfering. The humans relied on her guidance, and she accepted their cooperation grudgingly. She had never worked with males before, and yet, she found herself listening to him, considering his input, and even anticipating his next step. The forest seemed alive with tension. Shadows shifted unnaturally, and strange noises echoed through the crystalline trees. Kaylara stopped suddenly, ears twitching. Something approached, faster than any predator she had known. Her claws flexed instinctively. "Stay back," she whispered to the humans. "It is coming." Aaron's hand rested lightly on the hilt of his weapon. Calm and steady. "We trust you," he said, not as a challenge, but as a statement of respect. The creature burst from the shadows, a massive, six-legged predator with bioluminescent markings that pulsed with anger. It lunged toward the humans. Kaylara reacted instantly. Leaping to intercept, her claws slashed through the air, and the creature roared in pain. Yet it was fast, strong, and relentless. Aaron moved beside her, coordinating the humans with precise commands. "Flank left. Cover her right." His voice was calm but firm, giving clear instructions that Kaylara could rely on. Together, they fought. Kaylara's speed and agility combined with Aaron's tactical commands and the humans' disciplined firepower. Slowly, they wore the predator down. Finally, the creature fell, wounded, but not dead. Kaylara stepped back, breathing hard, ears flat. Aaron approached her, holding his hand out briefly, not touching, only offering acknowledgement. "You're amazing," he said quietly, almost to himself. Kaylara's eyes narrowed. She did not know how to respond. Praise from a male was unfamiliar, yet somehow satisfying. "Focus," she replied curtly, turning away. She did not want to feel the stir of something she could not name. She could not allow herself to like him. Not when her people had taught her the opposite. They continued their mission, deeper into the alien forest, until they reached the source of the anomaly, a large crystalline formation, pulsing with energy. The humans set up equipment to study it, while Kaylara circled the area, scanning for danger. Aaron observed her, noting the precision of her movements. "You're very thorough," he said. "I don't think we would have reached this point without you." Kalara paused, just for a moment, her tail flicking. "I know the terrain. You would be lost without guidance." The words were almost defensive, but they carried a hint of pride. For the first time, she realized she wanted him to value her skills, not just tolerate them. As they worked, Kalara noticed something strange. The anomaly was not just a natural phenomenon. It was being influenced by an external source, something intelligent. Her instincts screamed that they were not alone. She signaled to Aaron. "Someone or something is here," she whispered. Aaron nodded, listening. "We need to stay alert. Prepare for contact." Minutes later, strange forms emerged from the shadows, alien creatures. Not like the forest predators, but intelligent, coordinated, and aggressive. Kalara and Aaron moved instantly, side by side. She felt a surge of unexpected exhilaration, not just fear. Fighting alongside him, trusting him, relying on him, it felt right. The battle was chaotic. Kalara's claws struck with precision, while Aaron coordinated human firepower, giving clear commands that kept everyone alive. At one point, a creature leapt toward Aaron, its claws extended. Kalara reacted instantly, leaping in and intercepting it, slashing it before it could reach him. Aaron did not flinch. Instead, he acknowledged her action with a subtle nod, as if to say, "I trust you." By the time the creatures were driven back, Kalara was panting, her body tense but alive with energy. She glanced at Aaron, expecting nothing, yet found herself watching him carefully. He was unharmed, calm, and already checking the perimeter for further threats. She realized she was relieved to see him safe. The mission complete, they returned to the base. Kalara kept her distance from the other humans, but she stayed close to Aaron, not out of necessity, but because she wanted to. Her people had never allowed her to feel such things toward a male. And yet, here she was curious, attentive, and strangely aware of his presence. That evening, Kalara found herself observing him again. He was working on repairs to a communication device, methodical and focused. She wanted to speak to him, to ask questions, to understand. But she held back. She was not ready to admit, even to herself, that her feelings were changing. Aaron noticed her watching. "Do you want to help?" he asked. His tone was calm, inviting, not commanding. Kalara hesitated, then nodded slightly. She moved closer, offering advice, assisting without hesitation. The small moments working together, exchanging ideas, coordinating actions, built a quiet connection between them. It was not love, not yet, but it was trust, respect, and a shared understanding of danger and survival. Later, Kalara retreated to her chamber, alone with her thoughts. The events of the day played repeatedly in her mind: the fight, the anomaly, Aaron's steady presence, his calm assurance. She did not understand why she felt drawn to him, why she replayed every moment they had shared. Her instincts, her culture, her training all told her to reject these thoughts. And yet, she could not. Sleep came fitfully. She dreamed of the anomaly, of glowing energy and shadowy forms, of Aaron's calm face and steady hands. She woke before dawn, her mind restless. Perhaps survival had brought her here, but curiosity and something else, something she had never felt before, would keep her near him. The next morning, Kalara joined the humans for another mission, moving through the forest with quiet precision. The energy anomaly had not stabilized, and the humans needed to understand it before it grew more dangerous. She worked alongside Aaron, observing his decisions, noting his attention to detail, his respect for her skills. She could not deny it, he was extraordinary. As they approached the anomaly again, Kalara felt a sense of anticipation. Danger lurked, yes, but also opportunity for understanding, for connection, for discovery. She would not admit it aloud, but she was beginning to trust him completely. And in that trust, something new began to grow, a silent bond, fragile but undeniable, between an alien woman who had always avoided males and a human soldier who had proven himself worthy of respect. For the first time in her life, Kaylara wondered what it would be like to rely on a male. Not out of necessity, but because she chose to. And in the dangerous, unpredictable world of Cathara Prime, that choice was more powerful than any weapon. The alien forest of Cathara Prime was alive with danger. Kaylara moved silently, her senses sharp and alert. Every rustle, every shimmer of light, every faint vibration beneath the ground was analyzed by her keen instincts. She had learned to survive in this world for decades, relying on speed, skill, and careful observation. But now, she was not alone. Aaron walked beside her, steady and calm. His presence was unusual for her. She had never needed a male to survive, never allowed herself to depend on one. And yet, there was something about him she could not ignore, a quiet confidence, a careful awareness, and a willingness to trust her without judgment. Kaylara did not understand it, and she refused to admit it to herself. Their mission that day was more dangerous than the last. Sensors had detected a massive energy spike deeper into the forest, far from any human base. Kaylara led the way, scanning for ambushes, pitfalls, and aggressive predators. Every step required attention, every sound demanded analysis. She moved like a shadow, fluid and silent. Aaron followed, observing her movements closely. "You anticipate everything," he said quietly, almost to himself. Kaylara stiffened, but did not respond. She did not want him to know she was aware of his gaze. Yet, the compliment stirred something strange inside her, a flicker of pride, and something more she could not name. The team approached a ruined alien city, half buried under crystal growths and tangled vegetation. It was an ancient place, filled with strange technology and dangerous energy fields. Kaylara's instincts screamed caution. "Stay close," she warned. "This place is not natural. The anomaly is being controlled." Aaron nodded, eyes scanning. "We'll be careful. Trust your instincts." Kaylara's ears twitched. His words were simple, but the tone, the respect, the calm acceptance made her pause. She realized she trusted him more than she trusted anyone else here, even more than herself, in some ways. And that realization was frightening. As they entered the city, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Energy spikes pulsed from the ruins, illuminating the alien architecture with an eerie glow. From the shadows, creatures emerged. They were intelligent, coordinated, and hostile. Kaylara hissed softly, tail flicking. "Form a perimeter," Aaron commanded, calm and precise. "We cover each other." The battle began. Kaylara moved like lightning, claws flashing, striking the creatures with precision. Aaron directed the humans with strategic efficiency, anticipating threats, moving soldiers into positions that minimized danger. Kaylara found herself relying on his commands, following his lead even as she fought. It was disorienting. She had never allowed herself to depend on a male before. One creature leapt toward Aaron, claws extended. Kaylara reacted instantly, intercepting it midair. She slashed with speed, forcing it back, saving him. Aaron glanced at her, a faint nod of acknowledgement. "Well done," he said quietly. Kaylara did not know why, but the simple acknowledgement mattered more than anything else. Her heart raced not from exertion, but from something deeper, something she had never felt toward a male. She looked away quickly, ashamed of the feeling, yet unable to suppress it. The fight continued for hours. The creatures adapted, coordinated, and attacked relentlessly. Kaylara and Aaron moved together seamlessly, instinct and strategy intertwining. She began to notice small things about him, how he never acted rashly, how he respected her space, how he watched for her safety without smothering it. During a brief pause, Kaylara crouched behind a crumbling wall, panting, tail flicking nervously. Aaron knelt beside her, not touching, but close enough that she could feel the calm energy radiating from him. "You're handling this well," he said softly. "I've never seen anyone move like you." Kaylara's ears flattened. "I've survived worse," she said curtly, refusing to let emotion slip into her voice. But her heart beat faster. She could not deny the strange pull she felt toward him. The way her instincts told her to trust him completely. Another tremor shook the city. The energy from the anomaly intensified, and a massive shockwave sent debris flying. Kalara dove, narrowly avoiding a falling crystal shard. Aaron grabbed her arm, steadying her just in time. The contact was brief, but enough to send a ripple through her awareness. Her instincts told her to pull away, to resist, but she did not. She allowed herself to be steady with him. The humans regrouped. Kalara's confidence in Aaron grew. She had faced countless threats, survived alone. But with him, she felt something she had never felt before. Not fear, not doubt, but a strange comfort in knowing he would not fail her. That trust was terrifying and exhilarating all at once. As they moved deeper into the ruins, Kalara detected another presence, one far more intelligent, far more dangerous. The source of the anomaly was not a natural phenomenon. Something or someone was controlling it. Prepare yourselves, Kalara warned. This is not just a creature. It is thinking, planning, and it will target the weakest first. Aaron nodded, eyes steady. Then we won't be weak. The entity revealed itself a massive alien construct, part machine, part living organism. It moved with surprising speed and intelligence, targeting the humans and Kalara with deadly precision. Kalara fought with everything she had, but the construct's attacks were coordinated. Aaron shouted commands, adjusting positions, protecting his team, and always keeping her safe. Kalara realized that she had never relied on anyone like this before, never allowed someone else to influence her survival so directly. At a critical moment, the construct cornered Aaron. Without thinking, Kalara leapt between him and the threat. Claws slashing, energy surging around her. She pushed herself beyond her limits, driven by instinct and the strange bond she felt toward him. Aaron reacted instantly, coordinating a counterattack that finally disabled the construct. Breathing heavily, Kalara stepped back, heart pounding. She had never felt such a mix of fear, exhilaration, and relief. She looked at Aaron, who was checking on his team, unshaken, calm, and precise. "You're safe," she said quietly, almost to herself. Aaron turned to her, a faint smile on his face. "Thanks to you," he replied. Kalara felt a strange warmth in her chest. She looked away quickly, ashamed. Her people had forbidden her to rely on males. She had always survived alone. And yet, here she was, feeling something she could not name, toward a human. Back at the base, the team celebrated their success quietly. Kalara stayed on the edge, observing Aaron as he spoke to his soldiers. She wanted to speak to him, to ask questions, to understand him better, but she held back. She was not ready to admit, even to herself, what she was beginning to feel. That night, Kalara retreated to her chamber, alone with her thoughts. The events of the day replayed in her mind: the battles, the construct, Aaron's calm presence, the brief touch that had steadied her. She did not understand why she felt drawn to him, why her instincts told her to trust him completely. Her training, her culture, and her instincts all screamed that she should resist, but the truth was undeniable. She had never trusted anyone like this before. She had never allowed herself to feel anything for a male, and yet, she could not ignore the bond forming between them. Sleep came fitfully. She dreamed of the ruins, of glowing energy, of creatures she had fought, and of Aaron's steady eyes, calm hands, and unwavering focus. She woke before dawn, her mind restless. Survival had brought her here, but something more: curiosity, trust, and a strange, growing admiration would keep her near him. The next day, Kalara joined the humans for another mission, moving with precision, anticipation, and quiet awareness. The anomaly had not stabilized, and they needed to act before it grew more dangerous. She stayed close to Aaron, watching him, learning from him, and slowly letting herself rely on him not just for survival, but for understanding, support, and connection. As they prepared to leave the base, Kalara realized she was no longer avoiding him. She did not know what would happen next, or what feelings were growing inside her, but she knew one thing for certain: she trusted him completely. And in the dangerous, unpredictable world of Cathara Prime, that trust was more powerful than any weapon, more essential than any strategy, and more profound than she had ever allowed herself to feel. For the first time in her life, Kaylara wondered what it would be like to face the universe not alone, but with someone she could trust. And Aaron, unaware of her inner struggle, continued his work, calm, steady, and entirely human. The air was thick with tension as Kaylara and the humans approached the heart of the anomaly. The ruined city stretched before them, half covered in glowing energy and jagged crystals. Every step felt heavier, as if the world itself was testing them. Kaylara's instincts were sharp, every sense alert. Danger was close. But she had learned something important. She was not alone. Aaron walked beside her, calm and precise. He glanced at her briefly, eyes steady, and nodded. She felt a quiet reassurance in that look, a confirmation that whatever came, they would face it together. For the first time, Kaylara did not feel the need to avoid him. The source of the anomaly was now visible. A massive crystalline structure pulsing with energy, unstable and dangerous. The alien construct they had encountered before hovered around it, its form shifting, its intelligence clear. Kaylara's ears twitched. She knew the construct was analyzing them, calculating, ready to strike at any weakness. "Form up," Aaron instructed, voice steady. "We follow the plan." "Kaylara, I need your instincts." She nodded, heart pounding. Her instincts screamed to attack directly, to strike first. But Aaron's presence gave her confidence. She realized she could combine her agility with his strategy, and together they could overcome this threat. The battle began. The construct launched attacks, sending shards of crystal flying and releasing pulses of energy that distorted space around them. Kaylara moved with lightning speed, dodging, striking, and guiding the humans. Aaron coordinated them, giving precise commands, covering their weaknesses, and keeping the team organized. At one point, a shard hurtled toward Aaron. Without thinking, Kaylara leapt, intercepting it. Their eyes met briefly, a shared understanding, a silent acknowledgement of trust and connection. She realized she did not fear him, nor did she feel the need to push him away. In that moment, survival, respect, and something more intertwined. The construct adapted quickly, targeting the humans and Kaylara simultaneously. Aaron shouted commands, recalculated positions, and moved with careful efficiency. Kaylara followed, coordinating her actions with his seamlessly. They were no longer just soldier and alien. They were partners, instinct and strategy intertwined. Then the construct launched its most powerful attack, yet a concentrated pulse aimed directly at the group. Kaylara recognized the danger immediately. "Move!" she shouted. Diving toward Aaron, she grabbed his arm and pulled him to safety, energy shattering the ground where they had stood seconds before. Aaron's hand rested briefly on her arm, steadying her. She felt a surge of warmth, not from contact, but from the shared trust. Her instincts had always told her to avoid males, to fight alone, but now she realized that relying on him, trusting him completely, was not weakness, it was strength. The team counterattacked, combining human technology, Kaylara's agility, and their coordinated strategy. Slowly, carefully, they dismantled the construct. It roared in frustration, its energy pulsing wildly. Kaylara leapt onto its body, clawing at critical points, while Aaron directed the humans to strike with precision. The construct faltered, then collapsed. Energy dispersing into the air in a brilliant flash. Kaylara landed beside Aaron, breathing heavily. He looked at her, expression calm but alert. "You're amazing," he said quietly. She blinked, caught off guard. "Not amazing," she replied, voice low. But her chest swelled with pride. "Necessary." Aaron smiled faintly, and she felt an unfamiliar warmth in her chest. She turned away, embarrassed. Yet she did not retreat. She did not run. She had faced danger. She had trusted him, and she had survived. And that survival had changed something inside her. Back at the base, the humans celebrated their success. But Kailara remained quiet. She observed Aaron as he spoke to the team, calm and focused, always considering the well-being of everyone. She realized she admired him not just for his skills, but for his character, his courage, and his respect for life. That evening, she found herself alone with him on the perimeter. The sun had set, casting the alien forest in shades of purple and gold. She could hear the distant hum of energy from the anomaly, now stabilized and contained. "You saved me," she said quietly, not looking at him. More than once, Aaron turned to her, eyes calm, steady. "We saved each other," he said simply. "I trusted you, and you trusted me. That's what kept us alive." Kailara's ears twitched. The words were simple, but they carried weight. She had always believed trust was dangerous, that reliance on others, especially males, was weakness. Yet here she was, alive, because of that trust. Because of him. For the first time, Kailara allowed herself to speak honestly. "I did not expect this. Not from a human. Not from you." Aaron smiled faintly, a warmth in his eyes. "I'm glad you did." The quiet between them was filled with understanding. She did not need to say more. She did not need to define her feelings. Trust, respect, and connection were enough. And for Kailara, that was a revelation. The following days were calmer. The anomaly was contained, the base secure, and the humans focused on repairs and study. Kailara worked alongside Aaron. Side by side, their coordination seamless. They shared silent communication, anticipating each other's actions, understanding without words. Kailara realized that she no longer avoided him. She no longer resisted the pull she had once denied. Her instincts, her training, her culture, all had taught her to avoid males. But now, she saw that strength did not lie in isolation. Strength lay in trust, in cooperation, in connection. And she had found that strength with Aaron. One evening, as the alien sun dipped below the horizon, Kailara watched him from a distance. He was repairing a piece of equipment, methodical and focused. She felt no fear, no hesitation, only a quiet admiration and something more, something she had not expected, something that felt like the beginning of a bond that could endure beyond this mission, beyond this world. Aaron noticed her watching. "You've come a long way," he said softly. Not as a question, but as a statement. Kailara's ears twitched. She did not speak immediately. Then she said quietly, "And I've learned a lot. From you." He nodded, eyes steady. "Good. Then we both have." For the first time, Kailara did not retreat. She did not hide. She allowed herself to stand beside him, equal in skill, equal in understanding, equal in purpose. She realized that the barrier she had built around males her whole life had been broken not by force, but by respect, trust, and the quiet strength of a human soldier who never underestimated her. As night fell, the alien stars casting pale light across the base, Kailara felt a sense of peace she had never known. The anomaly was contained. The threat was gone, and for the first time, she was not alone, not truly. She turned to Aaron, meeting his gaze. "We make a good team," she said quietly. He smiled faintly. "The best team I've ever had." Kailara allowed herself a small, almost imperceptible smile. She did not need to define it as anything more than that. For now, the bond, the trust, and the shared understanding were enough. But deep inside, she knew this was only the beginning. For Kailara, the rules of her people no longer seemed absolute. She had discovered a new kind of strength, one born of trust, respect, and connection. And for the first time in her life, she looked forward to what the future might bring, knowing she would face it not alone, but with a human soldier by her side. And Aaron, calm and steadfast as always, continued his work, unaware of the profound effect he had on the alien woman who had once avoided all males and who now stood quietly beside him, ready to face the universe together.